Zombie prepping has become an acceptable thing to do in today's times. With the CDC at one point making an official survival guide, it was becoming plausible that zombies were approaching. We may be surprised to find out that if that day comes, it may not be the kind of apocalyptic race for survival we were all waiting for. CWD, or chronic wasting disease, is a disease that affects mainly those in the CWD family. These types of animals include deer, moose, elk, and reindeer. The symptoms resemble that of a zombie, minus the thirst for brains. A list from the CDC was released saying how to try to look out for the following signs that may be the cause of CWD: stumbling, drastic weight loss, a lack of coordination, drooling, an excess of thirst, constant urination, drooping ears, and perhaps the most dangerous being a lack of fear regarding people. The disease is identified as a prion disease, which is caused by abnormal proteins forming all through the body, with the brain and the spinal cord carrying a higher concentration of the disease. This explains why the animals infected seem as if they are walking corpses. It is not yet known the origin of this disease or how far it dates back, but it has been around for a while. It has only just recently become a growing concern since it is spreading quickly. As of today, the disease has no cure. Early this year, an updated list of reported CWD was done. On it showed that the places most affected by CWD is Wyoming, Nebraska, Kansas, and Colorado, with the neighboring states becoming a growing concern over the spreading of the disease. It is only a matter of time until the rest of the states become contaminated of this disease if not properly managed. Although there are no known cases of humans being infected with CWD, it is recommended not to eat the deer that have been infected. Recent studies have shown that the transmission can be passed to other animals other than those in the Cervidae family, primates being some of those animals that tested positive for CWD. There are parts in the contaminated deer with higher concentrations of the disease, so it is recommended to handle these parts with utmost safety to prevent it from contaminating your surroundings. Even though the spinal cord and brain are said to be higher concentrated, the eyes, limbs, and spleen are also said to be possible risks of contracting the disease if not properly handled. If you believe that the deer meat is infected, it is best not to eat it. The latest being done to prevent the disease from spreading is doing multiple recalls on deer meat in order for it not to be consumed. Properly sanitizing all your kitchen utensils will reduce the risk of contaminating meat. Using only dedicated cutting utensils for the deer is a common thing to do in today's times. Wiping down the surface it was handled on thoroughly afterwards. It is not stressed enough to avoid handling spinal tissues and the brain, as well as saliva and other fluids. If any of this makes direct contact onto a person's skin or eyes, please stop watching and contact your local health department to be evaluated for possible infections, including rabies. The best way to prevent it from spreading is to avoid deer altogether. Those that hurt deer or reside near cervidae animals are urged to practice common sense by keeping track of those believed to be infected. The disease persists long after the host is dead and can stay in urine and feces for days at a time. Isolating said infected animals would also be ideal. The takeaway from all this would be that chronic wasting disease is not eradicated by being cooked, so if not careful, we might all be at risk from another pandemic.